Hello everyone and welcome to Zappy Productions. Today I'm going to review the Moondrop Evo. Now, originally I did an unboxing video, but after using one day, I think I can pretty much talk about this whole device as a whole, and I want to highlight to you many of the issues I actually face using the device itself. You can tell that it's not going to be really positive. I mean, I have an unboxing video, but I'm just going to show you how the unboxing works. This is a very big box. Inside there is just instructions, one cable, nothing else, and of course the device itself, which is already outside because I haven't really used it for a day, and I just want to bring you guys this review and tell you guys what are the issues I face and should you actually even consider buying it. So this is the Moondrop Evo. I mean, from the case exterior it looks pretty nice until you see how thick the case is. I mean, it is, I don't know, ridiculous because it's so huge. Look at this case. This is the i5 Go port and it's one of the biggest case you can get. Now, just to show you in comparison, if you compare the TRN is puny compared to this case. But the biggest problem is the thickness. Look at the thickness itself. I can still fit it into my pocket, but really don't want that. So that's one thing. And all this is caused by the thickness of the case. Look at how thick the case is. You know, if you use a plastic molded case like what you see in i5 Go port, you can easily cut all the size here because you can just use the main case, which is the one inside, as the case itself. So that is one of the issues I face. This is ridiculously big. This is a zipper based case, not too good, not too bad. I do prefer the other type of case. The last zipper based case I use is the TRN, and it is kind of like that. And the zipper based case, the only thing I want to complain about is that this zipper here creates a lot of noise. I'm not sure whether you can hear it, but it creates a lot of noise when it hits against the, I'll say, zipper themselves. Now, when you open up, it looks pretty nice. I have to say the truth, it looks pretty nice, and it also looks logical where, you know, this is the bar here that will press down on these two connectors, and then when you lift it up, you know, it releases the connectors. You can take it out, so it's unobstructed taking out. Very nice design on this, but you notice one problem straight away. Notice my IEMs, they are facing upwards, but you'll be thinking, it's fine because you close it and then you have all the space, right? But this is a hard plastic, and that is where I want to demonstrate to you. Now, if you feel uncomfortable seeing or hearing rattling IEMs, look away because you'll hear them soon. For today, I actually use my Onyx, but after today, I'm never going to use this case with my Onyx again because I just feel really uncomfortable with this case for a good reason. Now, just look at this, how it's placed. Okay, so this is the IEM inside when you close, and then hold the thing so that you know the sound is not from here. You can hear the IEM rattling. That is totally bad. So you can see why I'm so uncomfortable using this box, because the fact that if you're putting expensive IEM inside and you shake the case, you'll feel extremely uncomfortable. I mean, I don't even need expensive. Imagine just putting like a $500 IEM inside or $300 IEM inside. As long as it's not a metal IEM, you will feel really uncomfortable. I mean, look at my Onyx. This is so beautiful. And then you start shaking in the box. Honestly, they could have fixed it easily, and you could have fixed it easily too by just applying a layer of felt. Just put a layer of felt here and you can call it a day. I mean, if you look at almost every other case design, there is felt everywhere. The felt is to absorb the scratches and damages that may happen due to transportation. I don't know. I think Moondrop is doing weird stuff here. I mean, if you look at even this one, I mean, this is a cheap case. But notice the side where there is the plate itself, because the IEM are facing downwards here, right? The side that's facing upwards is protected with a felt, so you don't scratch your IEMs. Even TRN does it. So, second disappointment here. Now, then there are the good stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff, right? This device here is really nice. As I said, take out easily. The charging is on the outside, which is really good because you don't touch sweat, you don't touch moisture, you don't touch oil. So this connector will stay pristine for a longer time. Many of the other, I would say, as wireless adapters have their connectors inside, so when they touch sweat, it's terrible. In fact, TRN is pretty good, it's at the bottom here, but i5 is quite bad. i5 is in the this area, but for some reason i5 one is like flush with the case and it always touches my skin, and there's many times it doesn't charge. So Just something to note, right? So the design of these two pins are pretty good. It's on the outside itself. Now I see multiple holes. I'm not sure whether they are mics or not because I haven't tried the voice today. I'm just looking at it from purely a listening device. Now this is touch sensitive, right? But I cannot configure it anyway. It's only on its default mode. Now once you take this out, I think the nice part is, you can check the power status here and everything looks pretty good, except that this is a goddamn huge case. So that's the thing. Now there is only one more problem I face. Let's talk about the good one first, right? Wearing this is comfortable. I mean, this is really nice. It's quite flat. It fits on my ear really nicely. But the bad point is, my set is faulty. My left side keeps disconnecting. Now, and it disconnects in a very weird way. It's not because that the pairing is bad. If I don't move my head, it's fine. The moment I move my head, somehow I think there's some flexing, something inside the cable here that is broken. It flexes in a certain way, the connection breaks. The connection breaks again and again and again. And then it will disconnect from the right side, which is kind of disturbing. So that's the other problem I face. I never review a device where I can outright talk about the issues so easily. This one has a lot. And then, okay, now the next thing is the sound quality of this device. Now this is a good one. The sound quality is definitely better than the TRN. Actually, I did the initial impression, then I did a comparison. I would say that the sound quality is definitely clearer, bass is punchier, and overall I think the sound signature is a lot more. It has the clarity. It has the clarity. This is an ESS DAC built-in, so it really has the ESS clarity signature inside this device itself. It's clearer, it's punchier, it's quicker. Now, is it significantly better than the TRN? I would say as no, but it is better and it only costs a little bit more than the TRN. Okay, in Singapore it's a lot. It costs a lot more. It costs like 5 times more. This is like $110, while TRN is like 25. But in some countries, TRM is like 20 USD and this is like 80 or 90 USD. So it depends on where you buy it. The difference can be either very huge or not that bad. But in Singapore, it is about 4 to 5 times more expensive. But that said, it does provide a better sound quality. So I could actually, forgive it if it has better sound quality. Just better sound quality, I would have forgive it anyway. And well, this is the next problem. Its output power is really, really low. I do not know why. I'm not sure whether it's a power or voltage problem. Like with the Onyx, it uses the same amount of volume as my TRN. No problems here. But if I was to put a Fat Freak on it, it has not enough volume. Be it the Scarlett Mini, be it the Maestro SE, not enough volume. It makes me feel like, the amount of power it's giving out is definitely no better than whatever TRN is giving, which is very disappointing for a device costing so much more. Now, some of you may say, you know what, spending $100 for a wireless hook and expecting very good amplification is unreasonable, and that I agree if it was a TRN. I mean, this guy is ultra cheap. I mean, 20 Sing dollars, 24 Sing dollars. But when even using this with the variation, I would have to use it on max volume or maybe slightly lower than max a little bit. If I put variation on this, it's same thing. I have to put almost nearly max volume or just slightly lesser than max to give a good experience for me. And if you are a loud listener, even variation will have challenge using this device itself. And I do not know. If you power anything worse than a variation, it gets useless. I mean, with the Subtonic Storm, with the Maestro SE, with the Symphonium audio, all the very famous but very insensitive IEMs, you have major issues with this thing and it cannot work. So the only option, of course, is the i5 Go port. But then again, this i5 Go port costs nearly 5 times the price. So, well, you do get a lot more power. It gets like a good 20-30% more power, at least in the volume knob. Now, the actual power itself, I'm pretty sure is higher. How much higher? I'm not too sure. Now, so you can understand why I'm a bit disappointed here. It doesn't have a lot of power. I mean, if it just have a little bit more power than a TRN, I'm happy. I mean, if its power is between TRN and the i5 Go port, I could have played the Maestro SE on this, because Maestro SE on this, no go. Maestro SE on i5 Go port is kinda more than enough. It doesn't even reach max volume. So somewhere in between would have been great, but nope, it only has the same power as the very budget device, which means you are not allowed to use anything that requires too much power on these hooks. Now, there are some good things though. Firstly, this connector here is a slightly jut out connector, so you can actually plug into recessed IEM. So such as the Noble Onyx here, you see it's slightly recessed. It does go in very, very neatly into it and very nicely too. But if you are not using anything with recess, great, you can plug it straight, no issues. But if you are plugging into something very recessed, such as the Maestro SE, it doesn't work. It is not recessed enough. So, I do not know. Mixed feelings. Honestly, based on my experience with the device, this version here, probably I won't recommend you. In fact, you know, if you are not an Apple user, maybe you can consider still, because it has the aptX codecs itself, which is a better codecs than SBC. If you are an Apple user, I would say skip this and buy the cheap TRN here. As long as you're not using a recessed connector, the TRN here will fulfill your needs. And it's better. The case, the carrying, everything is just better. But if you need the better codecs on Android, then this is your best option, as long as you're not using power-hungry IEMs, such as a Subtonic Storm. Now, using this with Subtonic Storm is asking for it, but you know, ignoring Subtonic Storm, even like Symphonium Audio or Fat Freak, you may not be able to use this with it. At least I'm pretty sure none of the Fat Freak will work with this guy. All the Fat Freak requires way more power, and this doesn't give them enough power. So that's pretty much it, my review of the Moondrop Evo. It is very nice design. There are some good thought out functions, especially on the main hook itself, but the app not working in Singapore, the box overly large, a case that never thought about protecting the IEM face, which may cost a lot of money for some of you guys. You know, and a device that doesn't have enough volume for better IEMs. I mean, this is not like dirt cheap, like TRN dirt cheap. So I expected that it could output a little bit more power, but no, it doesn't. So I can say that if you are an Android user, I will say as this is the best option for you, because as an Android user, you know, you have to use a better codecs than SBC. SBC, it sucks. At least for Android implementations, most of them. This is the version you should go. TRNs do not support anything beyond SBC, at least the cheaper TRN20s, so that's something to note. But still, you have to contend with the boxes and the faceplate thing, but you can put a layer of felt and get it over and done with. But at least the device sounds better than the TRNs. Now, there's some things I also want to cover before I end this review. And when I'm using this device, as I said, mine is a little bit faulty. The moment I start moving around, it just disconnects. Like, the moment I turn my head right, it disconnects. The moment I look down, it disconnects. If I don't turn anywhere, it's fine. And it's not a connectivity problem, because if I don't turn my head around, I can actually connect to this device and walk 10 meters away and still has connectivity and listen music well. I tried it many times. Its range is not inferior to any other device I've tried. Its range is comparable to the iFi Go port easily. So I'm pretty sure that the connectivity range has no issue. It's that some fault in this device, some physical fault in this device itself. And then I don't know what else to say. I mean, it could have been a great device, but there were just so many flaws with it. I just couldn't recommend it unless you are an Android user and you really want a wireless hook for your IEMs, and you're willing to do a little bit of DIY, at least paste a piece of felt inside the case itself so that you don't feel so disturbed by it. Yeah, this is pretty much it. This is the review of the Moondrop Evo. I'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.